Hello, welcome guys to the Football Rig, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're gonna be talking about a lot of Arsenal news that is surfing in the social media, and some of them are really good, really good. Alaikum salam, Luqman, my brother Zir. Big up to you, brother. Make sure you guys subscribe to Zir Talks, but guys, Arsenal coming to an international break. It's something that is remarkable. So far, it's a remarkable run for Arsenal, ending up the first of the Premier League so far. But there are some news that we want to talk about. And the first thing I want to talk about are the Arsenal readiness and injuries so far when it comes to the Premier League. And I'm going to show a couple of things so that we can, anticipate what we're saying here. So the upcoming next games for Arsenal are Tottenham Hotspur, Bayern Munchen, Chelsea, and Brentford. Those are not easy games. Those are really not easy games for Arsenal. A lot of people are asking, what will we do against Spurs? What we will do against Bayern? What we will do against Chelsea? Are we going to win? Are we going to really... and Hanno keep asking me the same goddamn question. What is the prediction for me? I think we're gonna win the Spurs, Bayern, but I think we're gonna draw against Chelsea. For some reason, I have that gut feeling, Hanno, that we were gonna draw against you guys. But I think it's gonna be also win against Brentford. Either way, I think, and of course, the aim is to win all 4 games. Those games are gonna be, they're gonna be coming thick and thin. In the upcoming months. December is going to be a very hectic schedule as well. I mean, for Spurs, we're going to play against them on the 23rd, Bayern on the 26th, Chelsea on the 30th, and Brentford on the 3rd. But what is for Brentford, Hanno is going to be home. It's going to be in Emirates Stadium. It's going to be in the Emirates Stadium, bro. But what is more important and is our readiness, how ready we are for these games, the Bayern and also the Premier League games. There's a lot of rumors and a lot of news that is coming through, Arsenal news and social media, the big accounts, and they are saying that the injury of players, here are the players that are injured that we think are going to be back. These are the injuries that we have: Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, Nonu Madueke, Victor Gyökeres, Martin Odegaard, and Kai Havertz. Look, the last player we heard in the latest news, that the last player that will rejoin Arsenal Football Club, PSG. I don't think we're going to play PSG. I mean, am I mistaken? I don't think we're going to play PSG. No, we're not playing PSG, Luqman. But anyways, so for these players, the last player that will join, I think, is going to be Gabriel Jesus because of the severity of the injury and how long he's been out of the, out of playing and out of the first team. So I think he's going to be the last to rejoin the Arsenal first team. But I think the closest one will be, I mean, from what we heard, is Odegaard, Gyökeres, and Martinelli. Even Madueke, I think all those players are going to be back. This gives us some options. It gives us depths. It gives us a lot of push and boost when it comes to our title race, when it comes to competing in the Champions League as well. And if you ask me who is the most important player, he should be back. For me, I think Victor Gyökeres and Odegaard, those are the two important players that I think they should be back, and we need them back as well, because it's crucial for us to have that striker. Also Odegaard, because a lot of people were talking about Eze and how Eze is performing. I think Eze so far, for me personally, I think it's underwhelming, and I don't think it's been, the levels of the level of the signing was too high. The hype around it was too high as well, and I was like, okay, Eze, wow. Oh man, just 1 second. But I think Odegaard as our captain and Gyökeres as our main striker, those are the most two important, starting, I would say. All the players are important, don't get me wrong. but I think having those players going to give us some robust and give us some clutch moments as well. Even Kai Havertz, we miss him sometimes, because if you're going to ask me if you want to play Marino or Havertz, in some instances, I think Havertz at least understand the role of a central forward. Yeah, in terms of GA, it's not really putting in a lot of goals, but when it comes to being the main guy or the main center forward, the press, I think Havertz also has that in him, the passes as well. But Victor Gyökeres is levels above for me Havertz, and above also Mikel Merino, and he is our main number 9. More or less, I want to say Madueke as well gives us some depth. I think Saka needs to be rotated in some games and in some instances without having that drop, because you want your players to be fit across the season. You have a lot of games that are upcoming, and you need to manage your players very well. And Arteta needs to do that in a way that without dropping points, and then keep winning and not dropping even the levels. It is really important for us as Arsenal Football Club to keep the momentum and keep the ball ticking, and to keep the results coming. And for me, I think, like I said, when it comes to the injuries, I'm happy to see all these players are coming back. I don't wish and hope they reoccur for whatever reason, or we see another injuries or bad injuries for any players for that matter. We always want all the players to be fit, because that's the beauty of the beautiful football, is to have all your players fit, and you watch a beautiful games and matches as well. So for that, I want to mention about, since we're talking about the match schedule and all that stuff, I think there was an appeal from Arsenal regarding the schedule in December, and I will show it to you right now, guys. So the appeal was on Saturday, December 20th. The Everton game was moved earlier, because before that it was the 21st. And according to the FIFA rules and regulations and standards, or whatever you want to call it, the team shouldn't have only 48 hours between the games. That is to protect the health and fitness of the players, etc., etc. And the appeal was confirmed that Arsenal's game, that is on December 21st, has been moved to Saturday, December 20th. That gives us the margin or the gap of 72 hours between the matches, which is between Everton and the Crystal Palace game in the Carabao Cup. And that is important, because having only 48 hours is not enough for the players to recoup and get their energy back. And I think that is fair as square from the English board and all. I'm happy that it's got this appeal has been accepted. And as you see, when I was talking about the injuries and the games coming thick and thin, look at the games in December, for instance, and across Christmas. We are seeing December 20th game against Everton, and then Crystal Palace on 23rd, and then 27th Brighton, which is a very tough games. Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Liverpool, and then the FA Cup third round, whoever's going to play in that first round or third round. So the games are a lot. They are coming, a lot, and you need the players to be fit. And you cannot play the same exact 11 all the time. It's impossible. Your team will run to the ground by January, by February. They will run to the ground, and I don't think they will be able to go on to September. To February, March, which is the most important time of the season, where the race is at its most and at its peak, which is the last 10 matches of the game of the season, or the knockout stages in the Champions League, or even the semis in the cups. So these are the moments where you need your players sharp, and you need them to be in form. And of course, that is completely up to the manager. So I hope he does know what he's doing, and I hope all the players get back to being fit. And speaking of which, I'm gonna move on from this topic, being fit and ready, and all the injuries that we talked about. There is some, stuff that is going on currently in the Arsenal Football Club, which is the personnel and the managers and some personnel when it comes to scouting team. There have been confirmation from Fabrizio Romano's tweet. I will show you now the tweet, guys. So Fabrizio Romano mentioned that Maurizio Micheli has agreed to join Arsenal as part of recruitment team under the director Don Andrea Berta. Micheli did excellent job at Napoli in recent years, and he's set to leave with Arsenal Football Club move imminent. Deal set to be formally sealed soon after. And of course, he is mentioning Sami Mukbel as the source. And what does that mean for Arsenal Football Club? And who is this guy, Maurizio Micheli or whatever? I did a little bit of homework and reading about this guy. I don't personally know him before I heard this news, and it turned out he was the chief scouting for Napoli from 2010 to 2015. And then he was the chief executive something from 2018 onward in Napoli. And the players that he scouted for Napoli, and he was responsible of getting those talents, that the unknown talents, I would say, that, like the likes of Hamšík. And I'm sure you guys know who Hamšík is. He was one of the brilliant players in the Serie A. Also Kim Min-jae or the Korean guy as well, who's now the defender of Bayern München, and Kvaratskhelia as well. He's the one who scouted him out, and I think he did a very good job when it comes to scouting and recruitment. Because if you look at Napoli's current success or latest success in the Serie A, I think he had a major role to play because he chose the players. And I mean, there's a combination between the talents that he signed and the scouts. And don't forget, Berta is getting his countryman. He's getting an Italian guy. The Italian mafia is being formed in Arsenal. But listen, I don't mind the guys from Italy or from Spain or from England. I really don't care, as long as he has the track record to prove that he is capable of doing that. And I don't mind also if he is delivering and if he's getting the best, players across the globe, and if he has the cojones and also the experience and the the talent ID to enhance our scouting as well. So I don't mind where he is from, as long as he does his job properly. And I think with his experience and with our current structure in the Hale End, with Per Mertesacker, I think it's going to be a good accomplishment, and we're going to see even further improvement when it comes to our talents coming from our academy, or identifying talents in such a young age and bring them into the lights. So that is a huge news for Arsenal Football Club. And I think we're not going to see the results or the outcome or the output from this until like later on, maybe in a couple of years time. So big up Basim. Yeah, I think it is good news for Arsenal. I mean, the guy is making a mafia here, bro. There's an Italian mafia taking over Arsenal, Don Berta and this guy, man. But from what I heard about him and from what I read, to be honest, I think he's a good. He's going to be a good signing when it comes to the contract. As a scouting personnel and all that stuff. So let's see. Let's see, man. Yeah, welcome to the channel for first time. Welcome, Basim. You're always welcome, bro. As you know, Berta is bringing his own countrymen. I have also my own countrymen here in the chat. Basim, big up to you, bro. Yeah, man. We have the Godfather in the house, bro. We have the Godfather in the house. I like I said, I don't mind being biased or bringing your own countrymen. Maybe he in terms of communication, there's no language barrier where it comes between Andrea Berta and this guy Mauricio. But as long as they deliver, I'm fine with it. I'm completely fine with it. And he has some track record. Like I said, he's been doing scouting for Napoli. and he got good players like Hamšík, Kvaratskhelia as well, and a lot of other players in the Napoli team, which I think where we are seeing right now, Napoli always always competing in the Serie A and in the highest level, winning it as well. I think he is playing a major factor and a major role when it comes to that. And I'm, I'm not so excited. I'm not so happy about it, but I think it's something to be okay. Let's see how it goes. I think the structure is improving in Arsenal hierarchy and all that stuff. So if he's any good, it's good news. But if he's bad, they will accuse him of being a broker. Yeah, man, we're getting brokers here and in some instances, but it doesn't matter really. For now, I mean, even if it's true, we're not going to really see the result of it or the outcome anytime soon. But speaking of contracts and speaking of personnel being signed and all that stuff, guess who Arsenal are negotiating with? They are negotiating with Mikel Arteta. Arsenal are yet to hold talks with the boss, Mikel Arteta, over a new contract with the Spaniard, set to have 18 months left on his deal at the turn of the year. They are, however, engaged in contract talks with several players, including winger Bukayo Saka and defender Jurrien Timber. So, Arsenal Football Club are discussing or holding talks with Arteta with a new contract. Can you imagine that? I hope that's not true. I genuinely hope that is not true. Yeah, man. I don't want this to happen until the end of the season. Look, we have to wait until the end of the season. If the board has one IQ in their brain, one cell that is working in their brain, then they need to wait until the end of the season to see if Arteta, delivers. Because if he doesn't deliver this season after 6 years and 1 billion plus spent, then it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem, at least for me. I mean, I'm an Arsenal fan, but it should be a problem even for a board. I mean, even from project management perspective, if I look at it as a business and you're bringing this project manager and you're asking from him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's not delivering. So why the hell have I have you on my payroll? Get the hell out, bro. If you're not delivering, get the hell out. And I think these talks needs to be, dialed down a little bit. Just bring it a notch down and wait until the end of the season and wait. Let's see how this season goes. Now, if he wins the league, then I understand. I would want him to stay because if he wins the league, I want him to stay. Arsenal will win the UCL and 2 league titles in 3 years' time with Arteta. Mark my words. So, Bassem, I take it's you're an Arteta in this case. If that's your stance, I did not know you're Arteta in. I'm an Arteta out. I'll be honest with you, and I've been Arteta out for 2 seasons now because I think he had his chance and he didn't deliver. But I also would like to be wrong. I'm not the type of guy who put his ego in front of my team's. My team's what. I'm a Barca fan, but I think Arteta is just very good. Man, listen, I was Arteta in for a while when we start competing against competing in the league and all that stuff. But overall, I don't think he has it in him to deliver, and I genuinely hope that I'm wrong. I swear to God, I want to be wrong. Because, I told the guys in the chat before, if he delivers me the league, I'll put his picture, man. If he delivers me the UCL, I'll have a massive picture hanged here in the wall. But but let's see. But let's get back on topic, which is the main topic, which is talking about the contract of Arteta going into the last 18 months. I think they should wait until the last year of his contract. And I'll be honest, I don't want this to come into fruition. I don't want this to become the reality of the situation where we actually sign an extension with him for 2 or 3, whatever years or seasons. I'm not, into that. Honestly, I have to wait. I genuinely have to wait and see the results before I take such a massive decision, because being the coach for 2-3 years, and now if you add 2-3 years, that means he's gonna be here for 9 years. Holy shit! Imagine you are a manager for 9 years without winning shit. I mean, that's just unfathomable for me. I don't remember a coach, I mean, aside of Arsene Wenger, but even Arsene Wenger used to deliver some FA Cups, because we didn't go like in a drought like that. I think we went to a drought with Arsene Wenger, but generally speaking, Arsene Wenger, at least as much as the team was bad, at least he was delivering FA Cups. But this guy delivered an FA Cup for the first season and kapush. That's it. Nothing. Keep you hanging and keeps you dry. Nothing. 5 years, 1 billion spent, and absolutely not a single goddamn trophy. So that's why Arsenal board need to take a pause, need to hold, need to wait, and be patient, and don't be stupid, and sign an extension with Arteta until he delivers. You hear me, Cronkies? You hear me, Josh? You gotta hear me, you gotta hear. Listen. Do not sign an extension with Arteta until he fucking delivers something. That should be the message from every single Arsenal fan. A genuine Arsenal fan is to wait until Arteta delivers. And then, and only then, we can talk about contract extension. Other than that, I'm not accepting this bullshit and this news, and I hope it's not true. Yeah, he was backed financially. He was backed financially and massively. But you know what I believe also? I think Arsenal also are looking beyond Arteta. Why do I say that? I'm saying that because of the extension of Saliba. I'm saying that because of the extension of Saka. I'm saying that because of the extension of Gabriel Magalhaes, also Jurrien Timber, Raya as well. So for me, the team is looking that they are looking beyond Arteta. I don't know if Arteta is going to stick around for that long, or we never know what happens if he's going to stay for 5 years, 4 years. But I don't think he should stay a single goddamn year if he doesn't deliver us a trophy this season. That is my thoughts. That is genuinely my thoughts about Arteta. And why is it debatable? Why the Saka extension is debatable? I mean, he's considered to be one of the top players in Arsenal Football Club, and they are signing with him probably the highest, maybe 300 plus minus K per week, which is the highest will be in Arsenal payroll. So I don't see why it's debatable. I see that the Arsenal board are moving in the right direction when it comes to saving their assets, if you want to call it. The assets here are players, because even if the player wants to leave, or let's say a Real Madrid comes in, or Barca, or even Manchester City, and they want to sign those players, they're going to have to pay a hefty amount of money. Deport him to Dubai if he doesn't deliver this year. So you agree with me, at least, that he should be sacked if he doesn't deliver the league this season. At least his levels lately are worrying. Or are you talking about Saka? Okay. Well, at the end, look, the players, performance go up and down, right? You always find a player that is performing a certain level, and then he dips in form, and then he goes back in delivering good performances. And at the end of the day, the guy who's responsible of those performances and helping the players to develop is always the manager. And the manager is the guy who identifies the gaps in the players, where's the room of improvement, how to improve, utilizing the player to the best of his abilities, finding the potential in the players. Those are all on the manager. So if a player dips in form severely and start not performing for any reason, or a good player comes in from, let's say, another team, a big star, and they come to the club, like for example, Florian Wirtz with Liverpool, or Isak as well with Liverpool. Kirkes as well is an argument we can put. If Arne Slot is not able to utilize those players, then there's an issue with Arne Slot. that he's not properly utilizing those players. Because Isak last season was one of the top strikers in the whole world. Wirtz 2 seasons ago, or even last season, is arguably one of the best 10s in the world. So at the end, the coach, is a massive factor on the player's performance. Massive factor in the player's performance. Even Eze for me, this is a very good example, Bassem. Eze, the hype that he came in, everybody was saying, wow, Eze, and screaming and happy about Eze. But so far, for me personally, he was underwhelming. He's underwhelming in terms of performances. He's not stepping up. He's not in even Odegaard's level. And I think he can do better. Now, is it because of the manager or is it because of the player? Now, that's a very good question to ask and a very good debate also to have. And I think it's a factor of both as of today. Because the sample is too small. We're talking about 11, 10 games in the league. So the sample needs to go across, a larger scale for us to identify. But in the case of Liverpool, because Arsenal are winning, Arsenal are winning. That's why, some of those, I would say, underwhelming performances from Eze or even from Gyökeres sometimes are overlooked, right? Because we're winning. But Liverpool are under the spotlight because they are losing. That's why now they are getting the stick. They lost 5 games so far this season compared to 4 losses for the entire season. Imagine, entire season, 4 losses. Now we are November, they have 5 losses. So let's put the spotlight there. They said he will perform if he plays in Odegaard position, and he played last games in that position. Yes, he played. He played in that position. He played in the left wing, and yet we haven't seen the levels that we expected from him, to be honest. I mean, for me at least, and the latest game, like against Sunderland, I didn't really see him, putting on a cold stone pass, a creative pass. Even the shot that he had, like one shot, I think it was, he scuffed it on top of the bar. So he needs to perform better. He needs to perform better because he is not 20 years old. He's not a kid. He's a 27 years old English Premier League proven player that he needs to perform right away. They paid 60 plus million for him. He needs to perform. And unfortunately, he hasn't performed yet. But I think he will, sooner or later. I think he's going to perform just like Gyökeres. When he started the Premier League games with Arsenal, he was really not looking so good. But I think lately Gyökeres looks amazing. And I think Eze also will find himself in a better, I would say, form. And I think he will help us because we need every single player to perform. We need Eze, we need Gyökeres, we need everybody to perform, to put on, results and get through some results. Do you think Eze not explosive, not urgent? No. What do you mean not urgent? You mean like, now you got to expand on that. So if I understand it correctly, you mean like explosive in terms of fast, in terms of decision making, if that's what you mean. No, I don't think he is that. I think he's more subtle player. He plays in a way that he needs the ball in, in his feet and take a decision, dribble, look ahead, look up, look right, look left. And I think that's the type of player. He's a different profile from Odegaard, where I think Odegaard is more faster when it comes to decision making. Yeah, and that's why they call him the skipper, Why Arsenal paid for a player and this why Arsenal paid for a player in the same league to hit the ground running without adaptation period? Yes, that's what I'm saying. He's an Arsenal he's an Arsenal. Arsenal paid for him because he is a proven English Premier League proven player, and that's why we wanted him to to hit the ground running. But unfortunately, he hasn't done that. In some cases, when you buy a player from other leagues, you would understand. Like Gyökeres, for example, he was playing in the Portuguese league, and now he came into the Premier League. Even though he played in England before, he played for Brighton, if I'm not mistaken. He also played for Coventry, so he is a bit familiar with the English atmosphere or the English play style. But overall, moving forward, I think Eze will find himself. I think Arteta will have to rotate, and like I mentioned, the games are gonna really be congested, especially during December and January, and we'll need all players. I don't think Odegaard can do it by himself. I don't think Eze can do it by himself. I think it's gonna take a team effort, rotation, good management, good in-game management. Sometimes if Odegaard's not delivering, or sometimes let's say you are dominating the opposition and they are putting a low block, so you can get rid of one pivot. You don't have to play two pivots all the time. You can get Zubimendi out, play Eze and Odegaard, more creativity in the field. In some instances, you need two pivots. So this is where the in-game management comes in. And I think in the Fulham game, was it? Or no, it was in the West Ham game. The West Ham game, Arteta for the first time played 2 10s instead of one. He played Odegaard and Eze in the same formation, in the same starting 11, and I like that from Arteta. But unfortunately, Odegaard got injured in that match, and he went back to Zubimendi and Rice in the pivots and Eze on the 10. But I think moving forward, when we play, with all due respect, a lesser team, I would love to see more riskier for lineups where you play 2 10s, because those teams are always going to set up a low block against you, especially if you're playing in the Emirates Stadium. You do not expect them to attack. They will always rely on counter attack or transition based football, and that's where you actually need two creative midfielders, and you have to overwhelm the defense and overwhelm that box to manage to get a score, or win. But anyways, that is it for me, guys. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It really helps me a lot. I'm moving, towards my first milestone, which is 500 subs. But I really appreciate the engagement, especially for you, Bassem. Welcome to the channel, bro. You're always welcome, my brother Bassem, and you guys as well. Give me your thoughts. Give me your opinion. Even if you're watching on the replay, tell me your thoughts about the Arteta extension. Give me your thoughts about this guy, Maurizio, whatever his name is. Do you think it's a great addition for Arsenal? Also, give me all your prediction in the upcoming games. It's hard games. I mean, imagine we're having Spurs, we're having Bayern, Chelsea. It's big games. I would love to hear your prediction. What do you guys think? And your thoughts. And on that note, guys, have a lovely evening. Have a blessed night as well, and see you guys later.